Desert Island Discs.
Welcome to this edition of Desert Island Discs, an interesting look at people's life stories, if nothing else, to inspire us. On the program this evening, a very deep story yet to unfold before you. We all love the game of football, undoubtedly. Even those like myself who cannot stand 90 minutes of stress, I call it, or the anxiety of just watch your team beating or being beaten. But there's a man who's revolutionizing the way we look at football on our land. I mean, football has always been talk about English Premier League and all the other leagues outside here. But in Uganda, something is happening. It's a revolution, and it's taking place right in our eyes, right before us. And it's with Express FC Mukwano Gwabanji, domiciled at Wankulukuku. Tonight on the program, I have the privilege to have the CEO of the club, Isaac Mwesigwa. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Simon. I'm delighted to be here.
As CEO of the club, what exactly is your call? What do you do?
Well, basically I do the running of the club, general operations of the club.
Which include?
Governance, supervision, top to bottom, and making sure that the people around me are doing the right things. Implementing the strategic plan approved by the chairman and the board.
But when you're sounding like, one of these blue chip corporate organizations, even football management is this complex?
Oh yes, football is a business. And first of all, my background, I didn't play football at the highest level.
Did you play it at all, or you were like me?
Oh yes, I played football. If you looked at my history, most of my close friends are not surprised that I'm in football today.
Wow.
But I went to school. I have an IT background at the highest level.
Wow.
I have 2 masters in IT.
IT?
Yes.
So now you're a CEO of a football club?
Yes, because it's
like
a passion.
They play football on the ground, or are you now playing it online?
No, I've actually never played football. I've never played video games. No. I've always played real football.
When we hear of football management, I mean, people now start thinking of these guys who stand by the touchline and are bailing out, instructions to guys on the football pitch. You're not that one. You're not the coach.
I'm not the coach.
You're not the manager.
That is 40% of football management.
Wow. That is 40%.
Now, for a long time, people have always thought that the 40% is the most important. But the 60%, the unseen works, are what makes a successful football club.
In your case, Express FC, I mean, you're the Sekafa champions, please. I mean, it's an epic win and all that. Sure. Tell us the 60% that possibly got you there. What exactly do you do on a daily? Are you the guy that pays salaries, their allowances? Are you the one to ensure that there is team doctor on call at any one time? Ensure that the boys have the amenities they need? Is that you?
Yes. What happens is that the 60% entails having proper structures, okay? Proper administrative structures, proper technical structures, what they're supposed to do, and they take responsibility of it.
You also do performance appraisals?
Yes, we do that.
Wow.
We are running Express as a corporate organization. We have a human resource administrator who makes sure that all contracts are in check.
Contracts?
Yes.
These players are signing contracts?
The players sign contracts, the staff sign contracts, from the janitor up to the head coach. We have contracts. We also have the facilities management, making sure that Wankulukuku is swept, the turf is not mismanaged. We've had one of the problems Express has had before was the playing surface used to get used up or misused, and the federation would ban the stadium. This season, we've had the best pitch. I remember the game against Police.
You don't allow goats and cows to graze?
No, not anymore. It's exclusive to ourselves. We did a very good job at the stadium, and that was managed by the facilities manager.
Wow.
So these are some of the things we introduced, my administration introduced, and I'm happy that the board supported my ideas. And because of that, we are where we are. And
How do you get the money that you use to do all this running around, pay allowances and pay all sorts of things?
well, we
Get collections are certainly not enough.
no, we actually haven't had gate collections because the season started while we're in lockdown, COVID situation. But we have a very supportive chairman, the Honorable Attorney General Chairman Chirwa Chiwanuka.
Wow.
And the board. Then we have sponsors. We have Betway, we have Uganda Land Board, we have MSL Logistics, we also have Special. And of course, not forgetting the Wankruku owners. So these are people who have supported us, but more especially the chairman, because the
mobilizes.
Yes, and the chairman is the kind of person I call and tell him, oh, look, certain things have changed, so we need maybe 15% increase on the budget. And then he says, okay, no problem, let me see what to do. So this, as a combination of working together, proper communication, and following the plan that was put in place at the beginning has helped us be where we are.
I'll be asking you later on the program where you see this club in the medium and long term. But before that, we are more interested in knowing who you are. Isaac Mwesigwa, who are you? But before we get there, we play our music on the program. Sure. What will be your first song?
Wow. I haven't had... I didn't think about the music at this time. Local.
Any music you want to play, we have it on the program.
Oh, really?
Choose a song.
I've been listening to, I think it's Phil Collins. Maybe The Water.
Maybe The Water.
Yeah.
Phil Collins. Why? Why are you choosing this particular song?
It's a calm song. I don't know. It touches the soul.
Wow.
Yeah.
On a Saturday evening such as this one, it's always very important indeed to have your soul touched. So let's play that song when we return. It's more about your life story.
I just kinda
Desert Island Discs.
Sometimes love can be so cruel. Sometimes we learn by being.
Welcome back to the program. It's Isaac Mwesigwa, who is the CEO of Express FC, the new kids on the block, winning trophy after trophy, tournament after tournament, and they only are saying, we ain't seen no nothing yet. Isaac, what would a young, vibrant IT specialist like you be doing in football administration? Let's back that question. Who are you? Where were you born? Whom were you born? When was this?
Yes, Isaac Mwesigwa. I'm 37 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't look a day older than that.
I do a lot of sports. I actually play with my team. I actually train with my team. Yes.
Is it possible for us to?
Oh, yes. We have an interesting strength and conditioning department that would work on you. 3 weeks, you'll be fit.
Then 1 week of letting down my guard, I go back to where it all began.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, 37 years. I was born in Hoima, village called Parajoki. Proud of my village.
Why?
Well, I love my roots. Wow. Yeah, so much that if and when I have the time, every weekend I have to be at home.
Hey, there must be a huge attraction in there.
It's my home. I grew up there, and I'm happy that I come from Parajoki.
Take us to that Parajoki village, the best of your recollection in your childhood as you grew up. What kind of parents did you have? What were they doing? About your siblings, if at all you have. Just take us back.
My parents, very tough parents. I grew up, first section of my life, I grew up with my dad and a very supportive paternal family, my aunties and uncles, very, very tough. First of all, I was not an easy kid.
Tell us more.
The school is opposite our home. And my dad was on the executive of the school. He was very close friends with almost all the teachers. I would understand because I was a very bright kid. I have a record in that school that from P2 to P6, I was either number 1 or number 2.
Then in P7?
P7, I left the school. I left the school, I went to another school in
just to get
5 kilometers from my home. But Interestingly, all my reports, they would say, very brilliant kid, but he's very stubborn.
What constituted your stubbornness? You never attended classes, you're always shouting? What were you doing?
I would attend classes. I was very attentive in the morning. Then in the afternoon, you know, we'd have lunch break. We'd have lunch break to play, to have lunch, but I would go to play football. Then after that, there was a hill behind our school. I'll never go back to class.
What did you go to do in the hills?
I have friends who would go hunting for fruits. So it would reach around 3:34, then we would slope down to the school and would get beaten. But the teachers would cut a bit of slack on me because they knew he'll come out top. Today, it hurts me that my colleagues then didn't make it.
Oh.
They are struggling, and you know, because I don't know, but maybe fate.
Life.
Yes. So.
Did you have siblings?
Yes, I have six siblings.
Where are you in that line of 6?
I'm the second born.
Okay, that meant you have quite a lot of responsibility.
Yes, I have a big sister, Juliet. I'm sure she's watching this show.
She better be, and she must be curating every word you say.
Yeah, she's
as tough as your parents were.
Oh yes, she's tough. My mom passed on now. It should be 18 years ago, and I had a very big attachment to her. My second part, I grew up with. I was with my mom. My mom had separated with my dad.
No.
Yeah. Then I have a young sister who is my next of kin, Barbara. Yeah, Barbara, kind of alike. She
also doesn't concentrate in the afternoon.
No, for them they're different. I think it was more of a passion for the game. And then I have other sisters, Joanne, Peter, and many other kids, the younger kids. But we're family. Our family, we work together. We have cousins, we have nephews. We live with my uncle's kids, my dad's other, relatives. You wouldn't know that we are not
of the same lineage.
Yes.
So it's one huge extended family.
Exactly.
That's a value that your parents and possibly his kin bring to you.
Exactly.
But let's now get to your footballing. Looks like football was an early childhood passion, like for many of us. But looks like for you it stuck.
No, it actually stuck. Then when I went to secondary school, I went to Kabalega in Masindi because it was a footballing school. I at one point I thought I would play football at the highest level, but my size.
Where the highest level is what? National team?
National team and professional football. Because I'm pretty talented. I'm a talented footballer. I'm a very fast runner.
So you were on the school team?
Oh yes, but I was small. And
not much has changed. But
no, I was actually smaller. Ooh. I was really small, but I was very, very fast. It's on record that all the visitations from senior 1 to senior 4, my parents would come, or my auntie, Evelyn Nyakojo, she's watching. She's my other mother. I even call her mother.
Wow.
Then she was a board member of Chinyara Sugar Works, so she would come to Masindi often, but she never found me at school. Not any one time, because I was out playing football.
For the school or for a local club?
For the school, and then eventually I started playing for a local club. We play mercenary football. They say, Bachuba, you get your 2,000, go and play. But it was more of passion. Then after senior 4, I was sat down and told that, football is not going to get you anywhere. They gave me examples of a number of former footballers who are now struggling. And they told me, look, you're a very bright kid. Why don't you concentrate on school? And maybe in the later years, something will come up. I never listened.
Who sat you down? Your teachers, your parents?
My parents. Evelyn Nyakojo especially. She's a very calm woman. She'll come up and tell you things, and it's upon you to choose the good or the bad.
But she would have told you.
She would have told you.
Wow.
Then I love my siblings in the sense that they are supportive of whatever I do. Even if I told them today I'm going to become a taxi driver. That's your decision? Yes, that's my decision. Not disrespecting the profession though. Especially Barbara would say, do what you want, for as long as you're happy.
If it backfires? Are they supportive?
Oh, yes. If it backfires, yes, they know that. We'll come to that. Then senior HSC, I went to Chitante Hill School.
What did you want to be? At that point, of course, senior 4, you are making a decision on what combination course to do in high school.
Yes.
That then eventually leads you to being who you want to be.
Yes.
What was it?
First of all, I was very good at math. Oh, I'm still very good at math up to today. So I wanted to be a statistician. And I thought maybe one day I would work in Bank of Uganda or not these other banks.
You were
really.
Looking for the money.
I was looking for the money.
At the highest level.
Yes. But I knew.
You also were looking for a school that would allow you to play some football.
Oh, yes.
Chitante was just one of those.
Chitante was well known for basketball in the early 2000s. Now, I think it was a trick by my auntie, then I was living with her, to take me to Chitante because I think she knew I would not play football. So when I went to Chitante Hill School, I was this bright kid in senior 5, and I started bringing in the vibe of, guys, we can form a football team and play football.
But there was no football team at that time.
It was there, but it was not as serious. So when I got in there,
You mobilized.
I mobilized guys and things started moving. I'm lucky that when it comes to sport, people listen to me. Okay, so we started playing football. Chitante is a day school. I would get back home at 8 p.m.
Whoa.
Yes, 8 p.m. Then we formed a village team in Ntinda. Now I was playing first division football. My auntie did not know that all the things. Chambogo United. It was one weekend. We used to do shopping with Aunt Evelyn. We used to do shopping in Nakawa Market. Now, I think the previous weekend we had won an intermarkets tournament. For the first time ever, Nakawa had won a tournament, and I was the top scorer, I was the best player. So we go for shopping. She was driving, and we get in there. As soon as we got into the market vendors carried me up and started saying, "Figure of our tools." And she was like, "What is going on?"
They were just there tossing you
Oh,
up the usual.
we used to have a list. They took the list and parked the car. She used to drive a Carolina then. They parked the car with foodstuffs of what we wanted.
Not a penny spent.
Not a penny spent.
Auntie must have looked at you and thought of this.
Now I knew I was in trouble because she never knew that I used to play football. So when we got back home, she said, "So you've been playing football behind my back?" I said, "Auntie, you see." But I used to do everything at home.
And everything at school.
And everything at school.
Then you go and do your football.
You know, parents, they would rest in the afternoon. After lunch or on a Saturday, for us, we were still watching TV. Instead of watching TV, I'll tell my other cousins that, you know what, I'm out.
But of course, a football player, you cannot miss them.
Yeah, one day, I think,
smell of their feet,
I used to leave my clothes outside. But one morning I was, crossing from, the design of the house. I was crossing to my room and she was coming, and then I had a bruise here. Somebody had hit me. She hit me. I said, "First come here." What is this? I was hit, and so but they knew that for as long as I perform in school, I can do my other things.
Let's pack it over there and play our next song. Because it looks like where we're headed, quite very interesting stuff.
Oh yes, John B, Don't Say.
What, that was your anthem, eh?
Yes, while we were growing up. Yes.
Don't Say.
Yes.
Quite interesting.
Yeah.
Let's play John B's Don't Say, as chosen by Isaac Mwesigwa. Here we continue with his life story, a story of passion for football, but a story of regardless, we move.
Yes.
And everyone stopped you from playing football and you continue.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Desert Island Discs.
Welcome back to the program. It's Isaac Mwesigwa, the CEO of Express FC, a celebrated IT professional, but is now into football management, the things our passions lead us to do. So Isaac, growing up as a young man in your high school, playing football, still 3 under what should have been a watchful eye of your auntie, now you surprise her to be...
Yeah, football administrator.
Well, even before that, you were the figure of the village. So
Yes. Yeah. So
you complete your high
S-
school days.
yes, I go to university,
Which university?
Makerere University.
Admitted for a course in.
I applied for statistics. I remember I wanted to be a statistician, computer science, and of course the others. But
You will now fill the space.
yes, then I went to for computer science. We're the pioneers of computer science at Makerere University, by the way. Then it held value, really. I must say that. So I started doing computer science, and of course it had computational mathematics, and I think I was the best then. Then kind of the football dream was
Beginning to ebb.
yes. Oh, I had forgotten. Senior 6. Then we used to have about 7 or 8 months vacation.
Yes.
Now in the vacation,
You.
I started playing. I started training with police FC. Now police used to give us 1,000 shillings for either transport or lunch. But me, I would walk from Ntinda. Police used to train from around Nakawa. Then Auntie noticed that this is what I was doing. She sent me to a village in Buambo, Bombo Road, Matuga side. There was a farm. There was a farm for environmental art. She was a board member of environmental art. She talked to her friends. One morning I saw a pickup picking me up that we were going to Buambo to work. I was a farm manager, small as I was. She did not know that environmental art had a very huge chunk of land, that when I got there, after like 2 months, we put a football pitch.
Yep.
And I mobilized my workers. We had about 48 workers, because it was an agro farm. A number of things used to happen there. So I got these guys.
Banu, the muscular boys on the village.
Yes, and you know,
with raw skill.
we started playing football. We were neighboring Mutebire's farm. So now Mutebire's farm
Also had another group of boys.
yes, and we had different. Mutebire's farm was only for cows. So for us, we had pineapples, we had bananas, we had a number of things. We also had goats. So we started playing inter-farms. Yes, and then eventually we put a prize. Those guys had a lot of milk, so we tell them, if we beat you guys, you give us 2 jerrycans of milk. If you beat us, we give you bunches of matoke. So we started playing against each other. Then at one point we created a team, a farm team, and we play other farm teams, Luero, and you know.
So you say mobilizing and picking up other.
Yes. Now, my aunt was shocked that when after like 2 months, when I went to the farm, I never used to come back over the weekends, because she told me, you can come back over the weekend, see us, bring us food, and you know. Then all of a sudden,
You are not coming back home.
we're not coming back home. So one weekend, she comes to the farm. Everything was in order, but we were playing football. She was shocked. She just said, I give up.
You and your football.
Yes. So the whole of my senior 6 vacation, I was at the farm. I was working, managing
So you
people.
are winning trophies that would come.
Oh yes.
busy,
I'd even call
okay.
my friends from Chambogo United. Oh, come and visit me. They didn't know that there was a football team. So they would come and we play. So they knew that every weekend we were going to Matuga. And because they would come back with, you know, small jerrycans of milk, stuff. We had a lot of stuff. So I go to university, computer science, a bit demanding, but I still thought I would play for
Your hall.
my hall in Nkrumah. But then Nkrumah had senior players from Villa, Express, and the like.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Posnet Omonyi was our goalkeeper then.
Wow.
Now, actually, I was supposed to be in Lumumba, but my friends moved me to Nkrumah.
Because they knew the value
Yes.
you were going to bring to the.
Yes. Then I played, I think, 2 games for Nkrumah. Then I moved to Lumumba. My mother, yeah. But I wasn't staying in the halls. I was staying in the
Hostels.
hostel. I was staying in Douglas Villa. So we started playing inter-hostels. I have a record of scoring, I think, 6 goals in a match.
One match.
Yes.
So they call that 3 goals is a hat trick.
Yes, a double hat trick. Yes. Yes. So
Left is 5 goals. It's a hat trick plus.
a brace, hat trick and a brace. Yeah. So but I continued playing football, but the school was demanding, and at the same time I was teaching because I had a first class until second year.
Woo.
Oh yes.
So
And
you were teaching the guys right behind you?
Yes, and also doing mature. I was teaching the mature guys. We used to have a morning class 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Then from 8 a.m. to 5, I was doing system administration. I can proudly tell you the computer science building, the new building near the main gate. I know every corner because it's me who did the network installation of that building. With
so Professor Barrier must be very particularly proud of you.
Professor Barrier is a very close friend. Professor Barrier is my mentor.
Wow.
Professor Barrier is somebody I hold in high regard. Whatever I have, he's been part of my journey. So for some reason, I kind of started giving up on football. Then I did my internship in Ghana.
Ghana?
Yes, with the UN Kofi Annan Center of Excellence. Still, it was Barrier who did the connection because I was good in class anyway. So I should have graduated on time, but when I got to Ghana, I was
went to meet Gian?
No, I was employed. I got a job with UNESCO as the system administrator.
I thought you disappeared.
No. No, I started doing IT work with the UN agency, but we used to play football every Sunday as expatriates at an international school. So I kept playing football with a number of people, got connections. Today, one of my colleagues in Ghana owns an academy, and it is affiliated to Inter Milan in Ghana. Yes, in Italy. Italian Inter Milan and the Ghanaian academy. This guy started his journey while I was there. So, you know, I'm happy to know that we know each other and we talk up to today. And
one of these days, before we know it, we'll be having an exchange of players.
Oh yes, he would like to come here one of these days to see what we're doing because he's actually proud of what I've done today.
But apart from your footballing journey and all that, you will allow me first get a bit naughty here.
Yes.
Come on, Isaac. You're a young man growing up with adrenaline, and of course, you know, when you are a football player, the cheer club really likes to. Yeah?
Oh yes.
So did you, indulge here and there, have a girlfriend or something like that?
Oh yes, I've had a girlfriend.
From the footballing fame?
Not really. She was actually on the other side. She wasn't interested in football. She used to hide my kids.
Want you to stay longer at home?
Usually Sundays is when we play football, real football. But she would want us to go to church on a Sunday. Sunday morning, we need to go to church.
And after church, the beach.
After the church, maybe we do lunch, a number of things. And eventually we started getting problems because I thought that I need to play football. Times I would go to church and I've not played football, I'd be very cranky. I'd be very pissed with her, and eventually we got problems. This is a fact, and things did not work out.
Thanks to football.
I think so, but
as a determinant factor.
Yes,
there are many others, but
exactly.
Football.
Yes, so things didn't work out, but I'm happy that I followed my dream, and eventually I'm seeing the fruits of my passion and the dream.
Let's play our next song. When we return, it's about your return from Ghana.
Yes.
And how then you progress with your football journey. Because from what I understand, Express is not your mother club.
No.
You loved someone before them.
Yes.
Here you are.
Thank you.
What will be your next song?
Babyface Tony Braxton. Make a pick. Babyface Tony Braxton.
That duet, I'm sure, is a fantastic one.
Oh, yes.
And so it looks like from the choice of your music, you're, others call them hopeless romantics, or what? You love the music that speaks to the soul. Do you ever dance?
No, I'm not a good dancer. Yes, I'm not a good dancer at all, but I'm very good. My choice of music, I like the choice of music. Most of my friends like the choice of my music. They think I have a very good taste. I can turn things around. I'm a Koffi Olomide fan.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I know there are people like you who flip from
Oh,
R&B deep with good meaning and then they can do coffee all of it.
Oh yes.
And a bit of Fali Pupa nowadays.
Oh yes. Or diamond platinum. But
Diamond.
in my good times, when you find me listening to my playlist, most of my playlists, Babyface, Tony Braxton.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's speak from that. Maybe when we return later, we can at least get groovy.
Sure.
We'll be right back.
Desert Island Discs.
Welcome back to the program. It's Isaac Mwesigwa sharing with us his life story. It's an interesting life story, a story of pursuit for your passion, a story of giving up all else for your passion, a story of a few losses because of your passion. But again, what is it that we can live for if it's not passion? Isaac here is an embodiment of that. Football as his first love.
Sure.
So you are in Ghana doing your internship. You get an opportunity to work as an expatriate. What drove you back home?
I quit my job. Why? Because there was no work.
You were just chilling.
You know, the UN system is so centralized that even when they get your laptop, you cannot do a configuration of an IP address. Everything is so automated by either France or New York or, Geneva. They just get your laptop, unbox it, boom, it's working. Or they just tell you, just connect to the internet, click this button, everything will be set up for you. And that wasn't my life.
That was boring. You wanted to
very
get
boring.
the back end.
Yes, I was doing support for, UNESCO was a cluster office for West Africa. So I was doing support for Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Ghana, and Nigeria. So I would travel from Ghana to Nigeria or Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire to just teach a few individuals how to use office applications. This was a person who was very good at Linux, coding, programming, and then here I am, I'm teaching people how to do summation. How to do
a summation in an Excel sheet.
Yes, how to do indenting, how to install a printer and it prints. And then because of accountability issues, you have to be there for 2 weeks. So it got boring, and I knew that my IT career was dying. So I just woke up one morning and I told my boss, the head of communications, that I'm quitting. I'm going back to Uganda. I need to get something really interesting. I'm no longer interested in doing what I'm doing. He was shocked. He said, at your age, I was in the village in Soweto. He used to come from South Africa.
I was in the village in Soweto.
Yes, so you should be proud that you're here and earning good money. I told him, well, I can earn good money, but when I'm not happy, that makes sense.
See, Isaac, one day I had the privilege for 5 years to work for an international organization.
I think it was the European Union, I think.
So now you're breaking, you're spilling the beans. And I woke up one day and said, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
For exactly those reasons. That I am unable to even generate a press release from first principles because everything is so centralized.
Yeah.
I got bored. I can understand you're bored. And I'm sure there are many people watching you and saying,
oh, yes.
This has been done before. You left. Never mind the money, the prestige of working for the United Nations, and everything that comes with it.
Now that brings us to the point of, are your siblings supportive
of what you choose?
Yes.
You told them I'm coming home.
They're the only people who said it's okay. It's what you want. Come back home.
Others were like,
most of my friends wanted to just beat me up. They said, we all dream to work for the UN. You're running away. They said, you'll never get a better job than that. I told them, I'll get a better job. Trust me.
Now you're a CEO of a local football club.
It actually took me about 3 days to get a job at Infocom. Infocom now is called Liquid Telecom. Somebody called me, Andrew Bakiza. He said, oh, there's an opportunity here. He presented 2 contracts, said, choose which one you want to take.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
You read through and...
I was recommended by a colleague of mine. We used to work together at Makere. So I think he told these guys that there's some guy coming back. I've heard that he'll be back here like in a week. But he's very good. He was better than me. This is Arthur Kwesiga. He now works for URNBS. And I got a job as a network engineer. And then when I came back, I decided to, to quit football painfully. I said, okay, now I think I want to
concentrate here.
yes. But then there was corporate league. Yes, there was corporate league. So I started working at Infocom. And interestingly, they looked at my friend, they said, do you play football? I said, I used to play football. I said, we have corporate league, we should incorporate you in our team. So we went for training, and they saw my touch and they said, oh, this guy is good. They saw that I could run very fast. So they also had athletics. So we used to run at Nambole.
Yes.
So one weekend we were, running for the old guys, corporate running. We ran 100 meters and I left these guys by about, these guys asked for my ID. They said, when I looked at my ID, they said, network engineer. I said, no.
They were saying, these guys have brought a Usain Bolt here.
Oh yeah, they were shocked actually.
So when they saw the idea, the ID, they must have said, but we need to see the contract.
No, they believe that. They said, I think it's true. So I continued playing corporate league football while I was working. So
What comes back?
Yes. Then, I had gotten some money. Then I remembered, I have a Chambogo team. Remember I used to...
Where you were?
Yes.
In your secondary school?
Yes. Then, at the same time, I had a parajockey team in the village.
In the village?
Yes.
Oh, you had left the team there as well?
Village teams.
Hey.
So I started supporting these teams.
What about the Wambo guys at the farm?
The Wambo guys we still talk, but management changed, environmental acts, yes, yeah. So I took over Chambogo FC.
Let me go there and check on it.
Yes. They were struggling. I said, I'll put in some money. I got them jerseys. We started playing first division. Then we played Uganda Cup. We beat Vipers in Uganda Cup.
Chambogo?
Oh, yes. In Uganda Cup. Oh, yes. We beat Vipers. We beat Maroons.
Were you a player or you were an administrator?
I was the president then. I was the owner of the club.
But you were not playing on it?
No.
You had...
No.
The boys were faster and fit.
Yeah, and they had a lot of time to train. But I just put one incentive. Every game you win, I'm giving you 1 million shillings.
As a team?
As a team. And it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money.
For guys who are given 1,000 shillings?
Yes. So we reached the quarterfinals, we played KCCA. And KCCA eliminated us on penalties. Oh yes, on penalties. But we were proud of what we had done for a team that low. So I had not quit football entirely, but I'd quit active playing. Now I was getting into management. Infocom, my third year at Infocom, I got an opportunity, I got a scholarship to go and study a diploma in fiber optics in Italy.
Wow.
And I was living in Milan. I was in Milan for about, I think, 9 months. So I used to watch a lot of football in Milan. Coincidentally, I was living in a hotel owned by the director of CNFC. Siena then, this is 2012. Siena was in the Serie A then, but it was going to be relegated. How I got to know, like every morning you're going to school. I was in a university called Alcatel University in Vimacatis. It's a suburb in Milan. Every morning you'd see a CNFC bus coming to the hotel. So one day I asked, I stayed there for quite some time. So I asked, what do these guys do here? I said, no, the owner owns this team. So I tried to look for the owner and we became friends. And so he was into business of buying players. He asked me, can I get a winger from Africa? And then I wanted to, he said, I will help you get this guy here. He signs a deal. So I thought of either David Oboa, then he was at Hearts in Scotland, or Oloya, Moses Oloya. Then he was playing for URA. I talked to a few people to bring Oloya here, to bring Oloya to Italy, and they frustrated me. Typical of our society here. They thought now if he comes that side, he's going to sign a contract without their consent, or he will not pay them. So they frustrated the deal. The Luca Magnoni, is called Luca Magnoni, he wasn't happy that we didn't get the deal through, but he advised me one thing. He told me, when you go back home, I see your passion for the game. Because we used to watch training sessions at Siena. He told me, when you go back, do one thing for me. Learn football management, player management, being an intermediary. It will help you because you're very passionate. You have an eye for footballers. Because I'll tell him, this footballer, I can do this, can do that. So he said, become an intermediary, and then you start managing players. When I came back, I started studying, because then we used to study. They'll get us FIFA circulars to read on how to manage footballers, become an intermediary.
Those circulars are there.
Yes, and you then you sit for exams.
Wow.
Now it has been changed, because then we were about 4 or 5 intermediaries in the whole country. But now things have changed. Everybody can become an intermediary for as long as you have a 2-week course, and then you get a certificate. So that's how I got into player management. Then I started managing kids, young kids. And I knew that when you get a kid from a young age, you understand the passion for this kid. And then...
So under what structure are you managing these kids? You would go to schools, Kampala Kids League?
Now, those kind of kids don't usually... History has it, they don't make it at the highest level. Because, I mean, Simon, your kid, I'm not going to pick your kid on a Saturday at 1 p.m. and the kid starts playing in the sunshine. He would want to stay home and watch cartoons and eat sausages. These are the kids we are looking for, the kids.
Ghetto kids.
Yeah, so,
in other words, they will still be on the makeshift tarmac road somewhere playing
kids who know that they're going to make a future out of playing this game. These other kids know they can make a future from doing other things.
Or even inheriting daddy's...
Yes. So I would get kids from villages, the unprivileged kids, take them to school. I'll talk to directors of school and tell them, look, there's this kid, he's very talented. Get him a scholarship or a bursary, but he'll play football for you. Then I had that arrangement. And then I got in touch with Mike Mutevi, a former KCCA coach. We agreed that to beef up the under-17 of KCCA. Then we got about 14 kids. That is a group where we had Alan Okello, Mustafa Chiza, Herbert Achai, Peter Magambo. The viewers, the people watching this show, if they're football fans, they know these are household names in Ugandan football. So we had these kids from a very young age. Today they are playing on the national team. They are stars of this country.
This is because of you coming back from Italy and saying, this is where the future lies.
Yes.
Now, what was your daytime job? Were you still working with Infocom?
I was still working at the Infocom. Now, then I had become a NOC manager. So,
what's a NOC manager?
Network Operations Center manager, where people call in and say, my internet is off, do this, do that, do that. We had a huge, we issued a big section of Network Operations Center, and I was heading that. But now what I did, I employed the right people that I knew I just need to supervise and have some time to do this kind of work. So that's how I got into football.
Management.
Yes. Then I said, now I was close to KCCA. Then these kids were graduating to the senior team. Now KCCA started noticing that there's this guy who has been doing having a lot of input with our team. I think we need to bring him closer. So I was a bit close to the team, and of course the plan was to have these kids, because I kept in touch with Luca Magnoni in Siena, in Italy, because the plan was to have these kids well prepared up to maybe 17, 18. Then we push them out to Europe for further development, and then they can sign pro contracts, because we don't have the right facilities to have a proper prepared professional footballer. That's a fact.
So they have to go on first prepare to be pro.
Yes.
There.
Yeah, for example, they need to go to the under 19, under 21. Those guys have those structures so that we have a real professional footballer. But then we reached a point and our objectives are diverging. The club needs money. They cannot pick their best player and just take the player for free for 2 years, and then they get money after 2 years. They say we needed money immediately. So I thought that my dream in that angle was
also
getting frustrated. Fast forward, of course, in that process, you meet a number of people. The federation starts noticing the kind of work you're doing. The time I was at KCCA, it's the time KCCA won a number of trophies.
That's when Mwesigwa was also at City Hall, and so she was also beginning to appreciate what the boys were doing.
And then KCCA also went to the group stages of the Champions League, and so people started wondering.
So what were you doing in KCCA?
It was more of, I'd call it player scouting.
Because you seem to have, just slidden your way in there.
Oh yes, because footballers in this country lack facilitation. Footballers will tell you, I don't have where to sleep, I don't have playing boots, I have no food to eat. And I have a heart of doing that. I was looking after a number of footballers who were playing for KCCA.
On your own company?
Yes. But these players were signed up to my agency.
Ah, so
yes.
You made an agency.
Yes.
So the clubs would somehow return some money.
If they had sold a player. Okay? But the whole point was to make sure that these kids are in a good condition to play for the club. That's how I was attached. But I didn't have
any contractual obligations, KCCA.
Yes. And because of that, everybody knew or thought I was employed by KCCA and I was a sworn fan of KCCA. But I was actually a football developer attached to KCCA, and then KCCA was the most organized club.
At least at that time.
At that time. So I needed an organized institution to work with to make sure that I ran my stuff. And of course, I had a number of friends there. Mike is a very good friend, and a few other people, Agra, Shava, and the like. But as fate would have it, we started having a few issues here and there, because now the boys were becoming stars, and we started getting offers for them. And as you know, things happen, and I understand. So the federation noticed that there was somebody behind, because everybody would ask, who manages that kid? Where does that kid stay? Everybody would point at. I used to have a seat where I would sit at KCCA. They would say, that is the guy. That guy who puts on specs, who never smiles, manages those kids. And I had 3 kids who used to put on nice boots with their initials. You know, like how you see the Europeans, because I would travel a lot. So I'd come back with boots with Alan Okello, AO, and Peter Poloto, Julius Poloto. So everybody would wonder, where do these guys get these things from? And they would say, and every after a game, all those boys would camp at my car. So like people got to know that there was this guy doing something. So fast forward, Chirio was chairman Express. And Express was really struggling. He was putting in a lot of money. He had tried to revive the club, but as you know,
doing it for the nostalgic feeling of the name Chiwanuka.
Yes.
Poor guy.
So he had a conversation with people at the federation, Rogers Biamukama, Engineer Moses Magogo, now Honorable, and he was like, "I'm having problems. I've put in a lot of money in this club, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit. But football needs people like him. People who have financial muscle, people who have the right connections, people who have the passion for the game." So and he was like, "You've been teaching, you've been carrying out CEO courses, club management courses at the federation. Get for me your best student to manage my club." And then I told him, "Look, we're trying to change the circular or the syllabus of the training course, because most of the guys we've trained either have not gotten clubs to manage, or wherever they've gone, they've not done a good job. So we're wondering what is the problem. However, there's this one guy we think can do a good job." And that was the time I was flying out to take Alan to Parado. I was trying to sell Alan to Parado, and we were flying out. The deal was done. So
Parado?
Parado is an Algerian club. So an Algerian first division club, or top tier club. It plays in their top division. So Chiro calls me. He says, "Oh," and interestingly, I had met Chiro at the American embassy. We were getting visas going to the US then. So at least he knew an Isaac Mwesigwa, but he didn't know that he's the person they were referring to. Then I had left him for home, and I was working for an American company. I was their representative in Africa, Middle East, and Asia. I was a regional, kind of a global representative.
Which company is that?
It's called Entest. It deals with fiber monitoring systems. I still work with them, but on 50%, because now I have this responsibility. Yes, I have the 100%, but I try to give them a lot of time because of the time zones. So I do a lot of work in the night. Yes, and now we have quite a number of customers in Asia. So the time zones really help a lot. So during the day, I can do this job. Now, he makes a phone call, says, I'd like to meet you.
But you're on your way to Algeria.
Yes, told him I can. We were traveling, I think, the following day, so we were working out a few things. So I told him, now, where are you? He said, I'm at SRK building, please. And then who refuses to meet Chiriwa Chiwanuka?
Certainly.
So when he placed the call, I said, I'll be there in a short while.
Don't tempt us. You know, he could call one of us now.
Oh, yes.
We don't end the program prematurely just to meet you.
You had better receive that phone call. Yeah, so I got onto a bike, I got to his office. Oh, he said, I know you. He said, I also know you. And our previous conversation, I was thanking him for coming into the game, and we are seeing the changes in football. He had brought on board Equity Bank. So that's the thing I remember. He had gotten Betway, and so there was a bit of vibe, but the club was still struggling for so many reasons, because of so many reasons. We meet. I remember the first thing he told me, I have a big headache caused by Express. How can you help me? So I told him, Express has very many problems, but I cannot, since we all don't have time. He was heading for a meeting. Actually, that time, one of his partners came in and said, it's time, we have to, yeah. So I told him, I'm moving out, but I'm going to write for you a document. And I knew lawyers.
They prefer to read.
Yes.
As opposed to discuss.
So I told him, I'm traveling to Algeria. I'll be there for a week. But during that week, I'll write for you what I think, the problems of Express, how I think we should solve them. And,
we take it on from there.
Yes.
Let's play your next song. When return is then what happened and where we are today.
Okay. I think we should Coffee Olomide.
No, Coffee will be the last one, I think.
Oh, Coffee will be the last one. Wow, I should play a Ugandan song. Of late, I like Nice Henry and Spice Diana. It's a nice song. You know that song, Body? I think it's called Body.
Believe you me, we know every song.
Oh yeah, that's a good song.
Won't ask you why. Let's just play it. The listeners and viewers will know why. We'll be right back.
Desert Island Discs.
My body, on your body.
Welcome back to the program. It's Isaac Mwesigwa, the CEO of Express FC, sharing with us his life story, and an interesting one. Football is not just a lifestyle for him or a passion. I think from the way things are going, it's an addiction. Addictions have their own dynamics. Oh, yeah. Am I right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
So you got Algeria, sell your player, pick your bags. How much did you sell him for?
I sold him for $200,000. That is KCCM money. Oh yes.
You brought $200,000 to KCCA club.
To the government. I would like to say this on national
radio and TV
and online. That it was my first sale, and I'm proud to say that it was the first and the successful sale. Whatever happened after that is for another day, but that money came to this country.
Others are stealing money from this country.
Yeah.
For you, bringing in $200,000.
Yes.
Has that been the only sale since then?
Since then, it wasn't so long ago, but it's my only sale, and for the right reasons. Most of us who are into football hurriedly want to sell players, not knowing what is going to happen after that. Sometimes you'd make a wrong career choice, and it will affect the player for the rest of their lives. So you need to make intelligent sales. Otherwise, you'll cause problems.
Or even get shortchanged.
Yes. So it's my only sale, but I can assure you, I can assure the viewers and listeners, other big sales are coming, and these are sales that are going to make this country happy.
And the individuals forever successful.
Most definitely.
So we want one day to see a guy we know from the backyard wearing a Premiership jersey, a Series A jersey.
Exactly. Those we're trying to create that passage. It may not be me, but I'll be part of that journey. It could be maybe people after me.
But at least you want to put your foot forward.
Yeah.
And lead that direction.
Exactly.
Because there are many young boys you meet at village football pitches, and the closest they are from a premiership player is a mimicry of their hairstyle.
Exactly.
When they walk around, they want to look like Pogba, they want to look like, all these successful guys. But the link to get them there is only playing at a local football pitch in Chinada.
Yeah, it's a long process, and it also requires a lot of government input. If you're not doing very well at the national level, if you're not doing very well at the club level, it is very difficult
to get your guy out.
Yeah, for example, I interface a lot with international intermediaries or football managers and clubs. When you tell them you're from Africa, the first thing they ask, are you from Nigeria? Are you from Ghana? Are you from South Africa? Are you from Cote d'Ivoire? Because
the places where the environment is conducive.
Yeah, or these are countries that have played at the highest level, countries that have produced stars. You talk of Nigeria, there's Jeje Okocha, Nwankwo Kanu, a number of players. Celestine Babayaro, Sunday Olise. These are guys who have played on the in Ajax, they played at Arsenal, Inter Milan, they played at the World Cup.
Jeje Okocha. He's so good.
Oh,
he
yes.
was named twice.
Exactly. Now, Uganda, the closest we've had
was Majid
Musisi. And that was in the
80s, 90s.
Yes. Now we need to have another player that is going to give us a name again, so that when you talk of Uganda, you say, oh. For example, when you talk of Kenya, they say there's Victor Wanyama, who was at Spurs, Southampton. Now he's in the US. When you talk of Uganda, they start scratching their heads. They have to first Google, find out which players. But you can fix that if we play at the World Cup. Because those are some of the parameters that sell a player. Have you played at the World Cup? Has your club won a Champions League, African Champions League? Those are some of the parameters. Before we do that, it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to have a star player. Now, but there's another route to fix that. Let us not overprice our players. We have talent, but we don't have the profile. Now, what you do, pick the talented players, take them, give them to these clubs on loan or for free, and tell them, look,
all you want is the guy to wear your shirt and be on TV.
Yeah, if you find this player talented enough, we can sit and agree on the terms. But before that, when you tell them, I have a player from Uganda and I'm selling him $500,000 US dollars, they'll say no. They look at Uganda ranking, you've not played in the World Cup, they say, I don't think there's talent there. But when you pick this player and say, hey, look at this kid, they'll pick this kid eventually. Now, that is another route, a longer route, but the direct route is government supporting us, having enough stadiums. We have proper management of our clubs and football.
Did you say proper stadium?
Oh, yes, I did.
We are speaking at a time when...
Oh, yes.
Let's not go political, but really, now boy.
Yeah. Yeah, so until we do that, it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to sell a player $1 million from this country.
Which we badly need, which the player badly needs, which the game badly needs. Go back to Kiwiwaki. You sent him. I sent him. The missing.
Yes. He was really, really impressed. He was like, okay, the problems I know.
The solutions?
The solutions.
Someone has to fix them.
Someone has to fix them. And I want you to fix them. Then we had a coach. Meanwhile, that the club then was 12th.
Yay, that's
12th, and the 16, the log is 16.
So you are close to relegation.
Yes, and he told me, see, he had proof that he used to pay salaries. He used to pay everything they would ask for. He told me, I'm paying everything. Why is this club
12th?
I told him, okay, part of the problems, you have them in print.
The others, I'm sure. You know, this whole thing of trying to look like losing teams. You know, you are like this with Arsenal. I think could also have been part of the problem.
So I told him, So I told him.
They will kill me, I know.
Yeah. Do you know what I told him? Usually, when you change a coach in time, when times are bad, the players want to prove to the new coach that they should stay. So they were going into the next game. If they had lost the next game, they were going to be relegated. And the game was in Arua and Onuparaka. Oh, yes.
Home ground of Onuparaka.
Yes.
That's a graveyard, man.
So I advised the chairman that we need to change coach. And he said, which coach? Because he's a busy man. He told me, I don't have time to look for a new coach. Can you get that coach? Sorry. And then there was a CEO, but I think things were not going well. So he told me, can you identify this coach that you might work with? So I told him, let me first get the coach. They get through the season with the current administrator. Then we can, he will be the coach I'm going to use. But in the meantime, we'll be looking out for the players. I will also be doing research by watching the games, doing research on how we're going to run this club.
Being intel, being
Yes.
there as a listening post.
And I told him the coach should be in charge of the next game because we need to win that game. If we don't win that game, we're in trouble. And he told me, I don't want to be part of an administration when the club has been relegated. I told him I'll get the coach, I'll let you know. But he gave me one condition. The coach should work with the current terms. I said, no problem. I'll talk to this coach. Then the most important thing is to make sure that the club survives. So I looked around coaches in this country that have pulled off certain things. Coaches that are pragmatic. I'm a sworn
You needed a guy who
Yes.
would do something like Jesus did on that third day outside Lazarus' tomb and said, Lazarus.
Exactly. And I needed a coach that will get me a result when times are bad. I'm a sworn Mourinho fan, by the way. And I knew there was
That's why you never smile when you
oh yes. But people who are close to me know that I'm a good person. Just that I'm always planning so many things in my head. That's why maybe I don't smile. So I bring in Mwesigwa, Coach Mwesigwa. Then he had left Toro United. He had coached Toro United to a 4th position, their best ever position. So I knew that, and he had not lost to the top teams in Toro. He had beaten KCCA. He had beaten a number of teams.
He had showed them the home turf.
Yes. So I called Mwesigwa. I knew Mwesigwa through. His wife was a football fan. She was always at KCCA, So I knew Bossa through the wife. So I called the wife. I told her, I need to talk to your husband. Tell him to meet me. We met at midnight at Lugogo. Told him, come, we meet, and there's a discussion we want to have. So he looked at me. He was like, but you're not the CEO of Express. I said, listen to me.
Now,
If you agree, we sign the contract tomorrow morning. We agreed on the terms. He's a very intelligent man. He asked me, he looked at the fixture of Express. He said, okay, I have Onduparaka, I have Maroons, I have like 3 games. And he's the only coach who had ever won in Arua. So, there was...
when you got to play in Arua and prepare for a win, you also must have a helmet.
Yes.
The fans will not let you.
It was a tough call. So, fast forward, Mwesigwa signs. Because I took him to Chirewa the following day, we put pen to paper, they had a press release, George Semogere has been fired.
Thanks to you. George Semogere will never forgive you.
No, we did it for football, and Semogere is an Express player, captain for a long time, and I'm sure he's very happy that we're doing what we're doing. George Semogere, if you're watching and listening, it was purely a football decision. Express goes to Onduparaka, beats Onduparaka 1-0. Express comes back to Kampala, wins the next game against Maroons, 2-1. Express survives.
Relegation.
Yes. But in Bossa's contract, we had put a few bonuses. You survive this. You win Uganda Cup, this. Unfortunately, the league was suspended because of COVID, and we finished 9th, and we survived. Now I came on board full swing. But by the time I came on board, we had already put things together, because I was doing a lot of background work. Who do I need here? What do I need to do? And chairman was very supportive. He said, it's yours.
From then on, like they say, you're living happily ever after.
Thank you.
That we followed on social media and mainstream media and all that.
Sure.
Let's get back to you. Yes, you lost a girlfriend some time back and all that. Now you are still a bachelor.
No, I'm seeing somebody.
Finally.
It's not official, so I would not like to talk about it really
you
much.
Don't say official stuff here. It's
Yes.
okay. It's just about your life story.
Oh yes.
But what's your favorite dish? She needs to know what she has to get herself in.
Interestingly, I'm not a food person. I'm a fruit salad person. But when I find food,
So you don't have a
Posho.
favorite dish? Posho.
posho. Honestly speaking, posho, beans, chicken and
Rice.
a bit of rice, but posho especially.
Oh, what's your favorite drink?
Water and juice.
Do you ever take alcohol?
Wine when we
The
win.
mood is right.
When the mood is right. When we won the Champions League with Chelsea, I'm a Chelsea fan. I took half a bottle for cousins.
The next morning you woke up alive.
I took a lot of water and a painkiller, and the following morning I was okay. When we won the Sekafa, I also took a few glasses of wine. We celebrated. So I take a bit of wine. I'm not a bar person. I don't go to bars. I don't watch football from bars. I watch football from my house.
So that you can kick the furniture and all sorts of things.
And I like rewinding. I like pausing, rewinding, and looking. I like listening to the commentary. I have a lot of information about football that
You can only pick when you are in your own space.
yes.
Wow.
So I don't watch football from bars. I watch football from my home.
When you have a son, it's not a case of if.
Yes.
Would you put him on the altar and sacrifice him for football?
No. I would sacrifice the other career for my son to play football.
That's what I meant. Would you put your son there?
Oh yes.
And say, I give you to football?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Because you think it will.
Even my daughter. Even my daughter. Yes, I've said it. Even my daughter. I would love my daughter to play football.
You're only 30-something years.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself by the time you are my age, in your 40s, 50s?
One, I see myself managing one of the top clubs around.
You already answered
It could be Express. I could have made Express.
Come to us. I told you my
Oh
team.
yes.
Jogo.
No. You know that Jogo is our son?
We don't care.
Yes.
He has grown. He's now sparring with you.
Yeah, but the dad is
sorting out our administrative issues. You are seeing.
Yeah, yes, I'm seeing, but the dad is still around. So let me first work with the dad. Yeah, so
teach him who is boss.
yeah, maybe in the few years, for as long as the Attorney General is still with us, would like to see Express at the top, being one of the giants back at the continent with the likes of Elaris, Mamelodi Sundowns, TP Mazembe. Those are some of our dreams.
To be in that
Yes,
league,
in that league.
the elite African club.
And then, of course, personally, I would like to be on management of the top clubs, or even at the federation, because I see there's a lot we can do as a country. I see I can add value to this country in terms of football management, but I don't see myself quitting football.
Do you earn from football as much as you do from your IT stuff? I mean, IT is the future.
No, not even 10%.
But then you are spending 100% of your time in a venture that you bring in 10% of your income.
I get...
When you get married to this girlfriend of yours, I mean, really, how will you feed her?
She needs to understand that when you invest in football, it pays a lot. A lot.
In the future.
We need to think, we need to, as young people, we need to think ahead. For example, today, when I get good money, I plant trees. Okay? Yes. I plant trees. I'm still renting. I would have bought land. I have land, of course. I would have bought land and built, but I decided to plant trees. In the next few years, I'll be able to buy whatever I want because the trees would have. So, as young men, and I'm trying. I'll say this on national television, on online and radio, that as the youth of this country, we need to think long term. Wow. Don't think of inheriting your parents' property. Don't think of tomorrow or today. Think of 5, 10 years from now. When you think that way, you don't live a reckless life. You don't live, you look forward to getting the fruits of your investment.
Is that the stuff you tell your football players when you meet in the locker room or wherever it is that you meet them? Because what's for sure, one of the reasons why some of us are not star football players or any sports people is that we've seen the evening of sports personality filled with gloom and doom.
What I usually tell our players is that your future is on your feet. Don't think you're playing for this club or you're playing for Chirewa Chiwanuka. You are playing for your futures. Play well. Clubs will see you. They'll come get us an offer and we shall let you go. If I'm paying you 2 million per month and the club comes and
that much?
We have some players who are paying good money. Yeah, football has changed. For example, if we're paying you 1 million shillings as monthly salary and the club comes and says we're paying you 10 million per month, it will be because you've done well on the field of play. If you win, you'll have played well. The clubs will come with better offers and you'll go. So that is motivation enough.
But what about the management? Because again, like you said, many of these players are those that did not have an opportunity to an education. So management of their own resources still remains an issue. You give them financial management tutorials in as much as you take them to train on the pitch.
Oh yes. The schedule for our trainings is that by 7 o'clock they are at the stadium. They have breakfast because we know some of these guys don't have breakfast at their homes. So we get them a proper breakfast.
Street.
Yes. Then 8 to 9:30 they have a kind of review of certain things, or we put a program, training. So part of that, we have financial management, we have personal management, discipline. We have, they also need to understand the new laws of the game. Mm-hmm. A number of things. So we have that time at 1.5 to 2 hours free to make them understand. They go to class. We also try to give them a lot of media understanding how to answer questions, media training. So those are some of the things I introduced at the club. They were not there before. Or some of them, even sometimes we want to relax a little bit, like on a weekend after breakfast, we cut their hair. We get in a mobile salon to cut their hair to make sure that they work on their dreads.
Dreadlocks.
Yeah, it is a family. At Express, it is a family today. Now, we do that. And then sometimes, one of the things I do, I get to know them personally. I call them, I either go to their homes, mm-hmm. or they come to my office, or I go to, get to know them personally and then understand them better. Then through that we know how to handle these players.
Isaac, what's that one thing that you know about yourself that hardly anyone knows?
I'm very emotional. I think it's only Barbara and Juliet, my sisters, who know that. When we won the Sekafa,
you cried.
I went to my room, sat on my bed in the hotel, and started crying. And I texted my sister and told them, guys, I'm crying endlessly. I didn't understand it because, one, my mom would have loved to be there. I just lost an uncle due to COVID recently. He was very supportive, very, very supportive, and we were very, very close. He died just before we were declared champions.
That win was for you.
Yeah, so that made me cry. I'm a very emotional and sensitive person. There are certain things that
trigger you.
Yes, but I don't look that kind of person.
You look the toughie.
Oh yeah.
Where in this beautiful country would you love being around, maybe for a holiday, and why?
Tough question, because I think I've been in almost all corners of this country.
Yeah, don't tell us where, please. No, you are restricted.
I'll give you 2 places. Kapchorwa. Mm-hmm. Kapchorwa should be my first. I've been to Fort Portal. Fort Portal is an amazing place, and I think I would, in the future, I'll have a home in Fort Portal.
Oh.
Yeah. I think Kapchorwa, because I've been to almost all these places. Part of my work, part of my IT work, by the way, I didn't tell you, part of my IT work is I manage the national infrastructure, fiber infrastructure, making sure that we have the fiber network. We put sensors on every 150 kilometers to know the health of the fiber.
Wow.
So wherever I go, every country I go to, I have to move to the peripherals of the country. So I've traveled enough, and I've traversed this whole country. I know every bit and piece and corner. But if I retired today, besides Hoima or Parajoki, it would be Fort Portal.
Or Kapchorwa.
Kapchorwa is a holiday, just to go and, you know, my holiday is not to just sleep and wake up and sit at the balcony. My holiday is to wake up, visit places, go and see what is going on. You know, still active, but not doing official things.
It's been a pleasure having you on the program, Isaac, and especially knowing that your life story continues, and we are going to hold you for your word to see Ugandan football to greater heights.
Thank you.
So now we'll allow you to say kwaheri to our listeners with that groovy Koffi Olomide song. Which one will it be?
It should be Koffi Olomide Diamond Platinum.
Ah, wow.
Oh, yes.
What a way to end the program. Let us leave you to dance away as we prepare to meet you same time, same place next week with yet another electrifying life story. God bless you.
Desert Island Discs.
Le général Dangote. Le grand Mouba.
Desert Island Discs.